kek. Ya. Oh. Fuck.
Hey, Navia, what you up to?
Shh. Get lost, Monica! I don't want to see you back here until you're ready to wake up and start doing things properly!
Hubutan!
You're a disgrace to my kitchen and to the Hotel de Boer name!
It was an accident.
I'm sorry, did you hear me asking for excuses?
No, I'll do better, I promise.
Why is she so aggressive? She won't even listen to what the poor girl has to say. Oh, hey, cut her some slack. You gotta at least hear her out.
Wait!
Who do you think you are telling me? Wait a sec. Navia? So, you're bringing backup now. Suit yourself! You're still wasting your time!
Savannah, is this how you always treat your staff?
My staff is right. I'm the one in charge here now. And last time I checked, the Hotel de Boer doesn't take orders from the Spina di Rosula.
Of course. How you run your kitchen is none of our business. But when a member of your staff is so overworked he becomes gravely ill, that most definitely is our business. We're going to stand up for him, whether you like it or not.
Overworked? I've said it before and I'll say it again. If Fermon can't handle the job, then tough luck. There are plenty of other capable people I can hire instead.
But Fermon can do the job, he just...
Monica, back inside, now!
Huh? But you said I shouldn't come back until...
Just do as you're told, and not another word out of you! Come on, we have work to do!
Udah jam terbang ada.
Wow, what a horrible person!
Sorry. Looks like I've dragged you into some drama again.
Siapa tuh itu tadi?
Her name is Savannah. She's the new head chef at Hotel de Boer. Ever since she took the job, she's been enforcing a brutal work regime and putting a huge amount of pressure on her staff. One guy was so overworked, he collapsed from illness. He's been bedridden for days, and he can barely even talk properly.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I don't deserve to be a chef.
At his family's request, the Spina di Rosula is trying to mediate on his behalf. We're not exactly making a ton of progress, as you saw. Savannah is adamant that Vermont's exhaustion and illness have nothing to do with her or how she's been running her kitchen. She's refusing to have any kind of meaningful dialogue with us. Our next thought was to talk to the other chefs at the restaurant and get a better idea of their working conditions. But with Savannah watching them like a hawk, no one has been willing to open up. And that's why I'm here, doing it the old-fashioned way. Camping out, watching...
Oh, shoot! It all makes sense now. Sorry. Paimon should have thunk before she spoke. Did Paimon ruin everything?
Oh, no, not at all, Paimon. Honestly, the way she was laying into Monica, someone had to step in. I'm sure I would have piped up if you hadn't. And besides, I don't really think I'm built for espionage. Yeah, meaning it's gonna be all the more difficult to get the inside scoop now. Oh, I might as well head back to the Fleuve Cendre then. We'll need to come up with a whole new game plan.
Paimon will join you, cause this is kinda all Paimon's fault.
Kalau gitu, aku sekalian.
Guys, it's fine. You don't need to worry about it. That said, if you were planning to visit the Fleuve Cendre anyway, let me take you out for a meal. I'll make sure it's a proper feast. A really famous chef just joined the Spina di Rosula's tavern. Her name is...
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to apologize for the scene you witnessed just now. We shouldn't subject our customers to that. This is a small token from us. It's some candy from Monica. She asked me to make sure it was delivered into your hands.
Monica's the one apologizing? Huh. Clearly Savannah is the one who owes an apology.
Our head chef has been a little highly strung lately. Sorry for everything.
Alright. Since there's candy, Paimon will drop it. Not the candy.
Thank you for understanding. We'll make sure to pass your feedback on to Miss Savannah.
A little highly strung, huh?
Paimon doesn't get it. How did someone like her even become head chef?
Well, according to Fermat's family, she hasn't always been like this. But that's a story for another time. Let's try this candy.
Oh, Paimon totally gets it. Come on, dig in! Huh? Hold on, there's something written on the wrapper. Find Escoffier.
Escoffier? Could this mean...
Come in.
Bravery is not common in this world, and so loyalty, honor, obedience, they set the man apart from the rest. You took care of Messina, but this matter is not yet resolved. Will you help me bring it to a close?
Of course, Donasi. You again.
Aduh, mafia. Oh, mafia.
So, who is this Escoffier anyway?
Well, for starters, she used to be the head chef at the Hotel de Boer, before Savannah.
Leo.
She recreated the legendary Gâteau de Boer and restored the restaurant back to its former glory. Safe to say, she's the most renowned head chef in the Hotel de Boer's history, after the culinary genius Modeste himself.
Gâteau de Boer? That's the super exclusive cake that they only sell a few slices a day, right? Wow. Why the heck would she let Savannah take her place?
Well, apparently, the Hotel de Boer was reported for a safety incident. Someone claims that the kitchen was adding an illegal substance to their menu. But none of the chefs had any idea how it could have gotten into the food. In the end, Escoffier decided that as head chef, she should take responsibility. And she was sent to the Fortress of Meripede.
The Fortress of Meripede?
Well, you're right. The quantity of the substance they found was fairly minimal. Even the guards believed the whole thing was probably just an accident. Escoffier didn't have to stay in the fortress for long, but still, by the time she returned, the role of head chef had already passed to Savannah.
So that's what happened. Paimon still thinks it's really unfair.
Even though Escoffier is no longer head chef at the hotel, she's still well respected by the staff. So, I'm guessing what Monica wants is for us to convince Escoffier to try and negotiate with Savannah on the staff's behalf.
Oh, Paimon gets it! Monica wants Escoffier to come back and kick Savannah out. It's simple. If the new head chef is stressing everyone out, then the solution is just get the old one back.
Well, about that.
You thought cream of mushroom soup was ready to serve
Poten!
after 3.5
Hai,
minutes
kemakanan
on the
usia!
stove. You'd have had more sense serving
Apa?
hot water with ice cubes. At least then you wouldn't have
Okay.
wasted all this perfectly good cream and
Okay.
mushroom. What do you say, Hilaire?
I'm sorry, Cream. I'm sorry, Mushroom.
As you can see, Escoffier is that kind of chef as well.
back.
You have to leave it on the heat for long enough to allow those flavors the chance to come out. Don't be fooled by the aroma when the water first starts to boil. Got it?
Yes, chef.
Then go back and do it again. The customers are still waiting. Remember where you went wrong and don't repeat the same mistake twice.
Yes, chef.
Excuse us,
Waiting to be served? Sorry, we're pretty busy. I'm afraid you have to join the line.
Oh, no, we're not here to eat.
So you're not paying customers? Then I'm afraid the wait will be even longer.
It's hard to talk to Escoffier when she's in the zone. Let's take a seat. We can catch up while we wait.
Looks like the rush hour is finally over. Is it always this busy here?
These days, yes. I'd say business has tripled since Escoffier joined as temporary head chef. Well, in her words, the Hotel de Boer doesn't need her anymore. It doesn't look like she's got any plans to go back.
I guess I'll be heading off then.
Wait, take these home with you. We can't serve them now, and there's no sense in letting them go to waste.
Oh, thank you, chef.
For what? Like I said, I just don't want them going to waste. Oh, and tell Fiamma to get well soon, so you're not running yourself ragged every single shift.
Fiamma. That's the second time we've heard that name. Who is that again?
He's the chef that fell ill from stress. Hilaire is his son. And with Mom stuck at home taking care of Dad, he decided to pick up some work to help pay the bills. Escoffier knows their situation, so she's been making some extra food every day for him to take home.
Hey, I heard that, Navia! I've told you before, no one's making extra food. Hilaire is making blunders in the kitchen, and I can't serve his failed dishes, so he might as well take them home.
Yeah, failed dishes that just so happen to be nutritionally complete every single time.
So you two must be the world-famous traveler and his companion, Paimon. Yes? Is there something I can help you with?
Oh, so you know us already. We'll skip the introduction then. We're here to talk about Savannah.
Oh, I certainly am. The Spina's headquarters are right next to the tavern. And I've lost count of the number of times Navi has come to pester me about it. But I don't work for the Hotel de Boer anymore. And being ex-head chef doesn't give me the right to interfere with that business. Besides, I'm the one who persuaded Savannah to take the job in the first place.
What?
Well, she was a much gentler person back then. A little timid even. She wasn't at all confident that she was the right fit for the role.
That's hard to believe. Are we definitely talking about the same Savannah here?
Honestly, I do wonder if she's just emulating me. I mean, I'm not the most pleasant head chef to be around either. Anyway, suffice to say that given the history between us, it'll be tricky for me to tell her she's doing her job wrong without coming across like a huge hypocrite. Fiamma and the others probably think that Savannah gets it all from me.
I wouldn't be so sure about that, Escoffier. Look at this note we got from Monica.
She mentioned me.
Whatever shortcomings you feel you have, it looks like Monica still trusts you. As for the others, well, how can you know what they think unless you ask them?
Monica.
Plus, it's not like we're asking you to storm in there and raise hell. We're only in the initial phase of our investigation. All we're trying to do is get the other chefs to open up to us.
Oh, Monica. Oh, Monica.
Escoffier?
I can't believe her. Powdered sugar is supposed to be applied sparingly. Look at all that on the wrapper. It's thicker than the sole of my shoe. Unbelievable. I won't stand for this. She has to learn. Come on, we're going.
Wait, so now she's,
Let's go catch up to her. We don't want to keep her waiting.
Hotel lagi. Balik ke hotel.
Wait, she looks like... Is that a...
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I messed up your order.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Maybe the taste is a little off, but if you hadn't brought it up, I don't think I would have noticed.
But, please, you have to forgive me or Chef is gonna... Okay, I know. I'll kneel before you.
What the heck?
Get up, Monica. Can't you see that you're just making your customer feel more awkward? Escoffier? If you want forgiveness, then do what any self-respecting chef would do. Make the dish again. And this time, get it right. You cannot go begging your customers to feel sorry for you.
Savannah said that I'm not allowed back in the kitchen until I've corrected my mistake. But if I can't go back into the kitchen, I can't do the dish over.
That's some backwards logic. How can you fix your mistake without being allowed to cook?
Golden Ramsay.
This is what Forma had to put up with. Then no wonder you had a breakdown.
We apologize for interrupting your meal, sir.
It's fine. With my layman's palate, it's not like I can tell the difference anyway. I was actually quite enjoying my meal until she appeared out of nowhere and started apologizing. Gave me a bit of a fright, to be honest.
Oh, well, it's because Chef Savannah tasted a bit of the leftover soup from my pot and then threw me out of the kitchen.
Gosh, that's pretty strict. Has she always been that way? I don't recall things being like this when Escoffier was head chef here. I gotta say, you're all looking a little worse for wear these days.
I mean, Escoffier was strict too, but I think the difference is that her criticism was more constructive, so you knew what you did wrong and how to improve, and we all knew that it came from a good place. Chef Escoffier was hard on us because she truly wanted us to reach her level. But these days, whenever we make a mistake, we just get told to wake up. Get your head in the game, or just do it again. And it's only gotten worse since word got out that Chef Escoffier had started working again in the Fleuve Cendre.
Monica, you don't need to call me chef. I'm not the boss here anymore.
Yeah, but through no fault of your own. What happened back then, that wasn't on you, and all of us know that. That banquet was a huge event, and so many staff were involved every step of the way. With so many moving parts, there's no way of knowing how that lumiline ended up in the food we served.
Lumiline? What's that?
A new drug from the Fontaine Research Institute, produced from an extract of the lumitoile. Apparently it sharpens the senses, so they used it to treat people with impaired responses to stimuli.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. They found out you can use it as a flavor enhancer since it stimulates the taste buds. Makes things pretty addictive.
They also found that overuse can have mood-altering effects, and even lead to nerve damage. So it quickly ended up on the guard's list of controlled substances. Unfortunately, however, some food products containing the additive had already made it to the market by the time the guards banned it from the restaurant industry.
Everyone knows that in all likelihood, someone probably just purchased a batch of contaminated ingredients by mistake. But you took all the blame. We all know why. You just didn't want to see this turn into a place where tensions are constantly running high. Because everyone's suspicious of each other all the time. And now look at you. A fry chef in the Fleuve Cendre.
What are you trying to say? Sure, the Spina's Tavern is no Hotel de Boer, but come on. It's not that bad, is it?
Oh, the Fleuve Cendre, you say? Great. That's where I'm dining from now on.
Monica, I'm very happy with my current job. And there's no changing the past. We just have to let bygones be bygones. Besides, at the end of the day, I was the head chef, regardless of whose mistake it was. Ultimately, the responsibility lay with me.
If only Savannah was half the boss you were.
I'm sorry? Do you have a problem with my conduct as head chef?
No. No, chef.
So, you do remember who's boss? Escoffier? I thought you'd left this place for good. What are you doing back here?
What happened to you, Savannah? Why are you acting like this? When I turned this place over to you,
You made me the head chef and gave up your right to tell me how to do my job. You're not the boss here anymore, so stop acting like you own the place.
Whoa. Sounds like someone has a chip on her shoulder.
Oke.
Oh, Savannah! My God, have you grown a temper since I last saw you? Have you put even half the amount of energy into improving your cooking skills, or are you still using the Pluie Lotus as an off-brand markup, thinking no one can tell the difference?
That's none of your business!
What happened to not storming in and raising hell?
Ho ho! I was not expecting to see something this spicy as soon as Escoffier returned.
Huh? Fan Asian?
Aye, miladies. Might I make a humble suggestion? Given that we have ourselves a tête-à-tête between chefs at the Hôtel de Bord, I dare say it would be de rigueur to settle this the traditional way.
The traditional way? That can only mean one thing.
That's right! I'm talking, of course, about the tradition established by Modeste himself. The cooking contest!
According to legend, the founders of Hotel de Boer, Modeste and Savelli, used this method to resolve all of their disputes. Everything from petty arguments over next week's menu to disagreements over the strategic direction of the restaurant. The cooking contest would decide who had the final say.
Huh. Sounds like they had a lot of free time on their hands.
Ah, well, it might sound that way to us. but in fact the cooking contest played an enormous role in motivating chefs to hone their skills, reaching new heights of excellence in the culinary arts. And indeed, the reintroduction of this institution in recent years has surely been instrumental in transforming the Hôtel de Bord into the top-ranking restaurant in Fontaine.
Reintroduction? Someone brought it back? Who?
What say you, Escoffier? Surely you of all people won't back down from this challenge. It was you who put the rule in place after all.
Ternyata tuh ceweknya Paimon.
Sure, I reinstated it, but I'm not a chef at Hotel de Boer anymore. Isn't this bending the rules a little?
I see no issue as long as both sides agree to the terms. We could simply treat it as an exhibition of sorts. Savannah, any objections?
Exhibition. Huh. No. If we're going to battle it out, let's put it all on the line. If I lose, it's up to you what happens to me.
I don't want anything to happen to you.
But if you lose, you hand over the Codex de Boer to me.
What? The Codex de Boer?
Only the legendary handbook written by the original head chef Modeste. It contains all his secret recipes, including Gâteau de Boer. It's the greatest treasure in Fontaine's culinary world, and only the present and former head chefs of the Hôtel de Boer have the right to read it.
Present and former? Wait, but that already includes Savannah, though.
What do you want that old thing for? You have your own copy, don't you?
Don't take me for a fool. You know perfectly well what I mean. I want your copy. The original version. The one you took with you when you left us.
I'm sorry, I must be missing something. You know, there's no difference between the original and the copy, right? They contain the exact same recipes.
Stop trying to change the topic. What's wrong, Escoffier? Scared you're gonna lose to me? Or are you scared of me getting my hands on the original Codex?
Savannah, you may remember that we gave her the original as a parting gift to thank Escoffier for her years of service. Asking for it back feels a little,
Oh, I'm sure it won't be an issue, as long as both sides agree to the terms. Those were your words, weren't they? And as for the contest itself, let's make it a bake-off. Gâteau de Boer, per the recipe in the Codex. Well, Escoffier, you against me. Are you in or out?
You sound surprisingly confident. Alright then, let's see how much you've actually grown. I hope you surprise me, Savannah. I'd hate to find out that all you've learned after this long is how to chew people's heads off.
Believe me, I'll show you.
Escoffier, are you sure this is a good idea? You accepted her terms a little hastily.
Oh, it'll be fine. Let's head back to the Fleuve Cendres so I can get prepping.
So, this whole bake-off thing kind of came out of nowhere. Was it really sensible to just go along with it?
Well, I got a sense that she's holding something back. But we chefs always express ourselves in our cooking. So if she won't talk, this might be the best way to find out what's really going on with her.
Huh? Holding back? Sure didn't sound that way to Paimon.
Escoffier only picked up on it because she's the same way. Always closed off, never letting you know what she really thinks.
That's patently false, at least where your macarons are concerned. I've been nothing but truthful with you about the disgraceful amount of sugar you use.
Okay. That's one case where you can keep your thoughts to yourself.
Hidup Jokowi!
Oh, that? Well, it's not so much a recipe book as a diary of Modest's adventures. Back in the day, he and his good friend Savelli explored far and wide, partly adventuring, partly looking for new ingredients and developing new recipes. Their creations had an enormous influence on the course of Fontaine cuisine, turning it into a much more vibrant and diverse scene. For instance, legend has it that the original Gâteau de Bourg was made using a special secret ingredient that Modeste discovered on one of his adventures. So rare was the ingredient that they could never make more than 16 slices of the cake per day. But everyone who tried it claimed that it was one of the most blissful and invigorating things they had ever tasted. Modeste and Savelli went on to found the original Hôtel de Bourg, which catapulted them to stardom in Fontaine's culinary world. Especially Modeste. He was hailed as a once-in-a-generation genius, and over time, the recipes from his adventure log became known as the Codex de Bourg.
Ah, Paimon's heard this kind of story before. Armed with the Codex,
Hidup Jokowi!
its rightful place as the finest restaurant in the land, serving those recipes for centuries to come. Something like that?
What?
Sans
No,
favor.
of course not. Cooking is a constantly evolving art form. How could any restaurant survive if they only served food that was popular last century? Anyway, never mind centuries. Savelli and Modeste parted ways not even 10 years after their rise to fame. Then, Modeste passed away while he was still in his prime. And that was it. The end of the Hôtel de Bourg's heyday. It fell into decline, and for most of its history, it was just a nondescript place with a couple of cheap tables. It's only in recent decades that it started recovering. Even then, it still took numerous relocations and changes of management before we finally ended up with Vanigem and the restaurant we have today.
Oh! So the Codex really isn't all that, then. Paimon figured it was like one of those mystical books they have in WuWa's martial arts novels, where the main character learns all their secret powers from.
Yes, well, that's fiction, and this is reality. You can't beat the taste of modern diners by following some ancient recipes from a dusty old book.
Case in point. Even the Gâteau de Bourg they sell now is actually Escoffier's reimagination.
Wait, really? Why though? Didn't that recipe make it into the Codex?
It did, but like I said, it's a dusty old book now, and the records aren't as legible as they once were. Not to mention that there's no way of finding the secret ingredient Modeste wrote about. So, reimagination is right. I consulted some historical records and took what I could from the Codex. But ultimately, the Gâteau de Bourg of today is my own recipe. As for why we gave it the same name and kept the tradition of only selling 16 slices a day, well, you've got Vanigem's business sense to thank for that.
Oh! Huh. Well, that kind of takes all the mystique out of it.
Hey now, it might not be the original Gâteau de Bourg, but it's still the most delicious cake in Fontaine today. And who knows, maybe Escoffier's version is more suited to your palate. Just think, if the original truly was the perfect cake you're imagining it to be, there's no way the recipe would have been lost to history, right? Not to mention that the Hôtel de Bourg never would have fallen into a slump.
Anyway, before I left my role as head chef, I made a copy of all the recipes from the Codex, including my own improved versions, and turned them over to Savannah.
So why is she so interested in the original copy? Could it be a symbolic thing? Like, whoever holds the original Codex de Bourg is the true head chef?
Well, it was clearly precious enough to give to Escoffier as a parting gift. Meanwhile, Savannah only got a copy. Maybe from her point of view, It's like management doesn't truly see her as being worthy of the role.
You think so? The only thing is, it was her suggestion to gift me the original in the first place. Well, a joint decision by her and Venegem. But still.
What? Huh. Guess she's had a major change of heart since she became head chef. Yeesh.
Who knows? We could speculate forever. Better to just let our gato do the talking. It means besting her in this bake-off, and then getting her to explain herself, even if I have to beat it out of her with a spatula. However much she's changed since we worked together, I believe that she still has her chef's pride. And if she respects the art, she'll respect the outcome of our contest.
Well, I'm confident that you and your spatula can get justice for Fremont. All you need to do now is win the contest. But that should be a breeze for you.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Gâteau de bourg is very complicated to make. Usually, it takes 3 chefs working in tandem to cover everything. Now, if I had to push it, I could probably do the work of 3 chefs myself. But I'd prefer to play it safe if I could find a couple of assistants in time.
Well, that's easy. The 3 of us are veterans in the kitchen. You just need to pick 2 of us.
Well, I have heard the Traveler is an accomplished cook, as well as a warrior. But be warned, I will hold you to exceptionally high standards. Think you're up to the task?
Bisa dong.
Oh, count me in too. I've spent weeks perfecting my macarons after your scathing review. Even if it means competing against the Traveler, so be it. I'll show you what I'm made of.
Confident. I like it. Alright, let's start with some elementary mise en place. Show me your knife skills.
I've always called it chopping stuff up, not mise en place. But it's basically the same thing, right?
Oh, Navia. The difference in your case is that mise en place is... Looks like you found that easier than I expected.
Yeah, thankfully it was pretty straightforward in the end. You made it sound like we'd be carving statues out of fruits or something.
Well, brace yourself, because the next step is anything but straightforward. A kind of special food processor I got the Fontaine Research Institute to make for me. It uses cold temperature extraction to isolate the essence of cooking ingredients, which can then be used to flavor dishes more precisely. But this isn't exactly standard kitchen equipment, so that probably didn't make a whole lot of sense. Let me give you a demonstration instead.
Custom-made equipment from the Fontaine Research Institute, huh? That's some pretty high-tech food prep. Paimon's never used anything this weird before. Cool! Not weird.
And done! These are the flavor compounds extracted from our ingredients. I processed all the fruit you chopped up earlier.
Wow! Even the smell is so much more concentrated. What next? Do we add all this stuff in?
Absolutely not! Throwing everything in at once will ruin the balance of flavors. We have to go slowly and carefully to calibrate the exact flavor we want. I'll demonstrate again. Now, watch closely. Slowly. And voila! Now it's your turn. terrible. Considering this was everyone's first time blending flavor extracts, it could have been worse. But the traveler's work was surprisingly good. Are you sure you've never done this before? You got almost perfect results on your first try. That goes without saying. Still, credit where credit's due. You did well. Alright, now for the part I've been looking forward to. I want each of you to cook something from the Hotel de Boer's current menu. I'll judge your submissions and give you a final score. That's right. The true test of your cooking skills is the finished product. It'll be good practice for the contest itself. Now get to it. Chop chop! How's it going? How's it going? Have you picked a dish yet? Choose wisely. I expect you to present... How's it going? Look at that! With the grace of a snow-winged goose, as I like to say. Now, let the grating commence.
Pretty good,
Alamak
right?
ang
Not
content
to
na
brag or anything, but Paimon's a bit of a connoisseur when it comes to la food.
6 points.
What? Oh, well, fair enough. Paimon doesn't cook all that often, so as long as it's a pass.
That's 6 out of 100. You say you're a connoisseur, but it's quite clear from this dish that you have far more experience consuming food than creating it. By that logic, I suppose you think listening to Lady Farina on repeat every day would make you an opera singer.
Aww.
Oh, me next. I'll have you know that this batch of macarons has 2 whole tablespoons less sugar than my previous ones.
So you went from 12 tablespoons to 10? Well, it's nice to know you actually measured it out. Because it tastes like you just threw in whatever was left in the jar. 6 points.
Aww.
Now to the final dish.
So, what do you think?
This is our last hope.
8 points.
Darn! That's barely higher than what we got.
Not exactly. The color is spot on. Beautiful aroma. Excellent presentation. I have to give this one 8 points out of 10. Maybe even 9 points.
How did you pull that off?
Don't get me wrong. There's room for improvement. But still, this is clearly the work of an accomplished chef. I can tell that you've put many hours of work into honing your skills in the kitchen. I can really taste the grace of the snow-winged goose in this dish. The traveler's journey, with all its trials, tribulations, and setbacks. Not to mention the frustrations of having a picky eater for a partner.
Hey, you made that last part up! No way did you taste that!
Well, it looks like I lost fair and square. I guess you'll be taking the Traveler as one of your assistants then?
But if it takes 3 chefs, that still leaves 1 spot remaining. Maybe Paimon and Navia should keep practicing and see how it goes?
Chef Escoffier!
Oh, it's Hilaire! What brings you here?
I heard the news about the cooking contest. You're doing Gâteau de Bois, right? I was just wondering if you needed any help.
And you think you're up to the task, do you?
Oh, no, I know I'm not there yet. It's actually my dad who wanted to help.
Firma, last I heard, you could barely get out of bed.
Chef Escoffier, Navia, Traveler, thank you all so much for everything you're doing for me and my family. I've had enough of sitting around at home while you run yourselves ragged. If you let me, I'd like to help you win this cooking contest.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Don't you worry. I'll be fine. I'm feeling much better now. I'm sorry. I know I've been rather useless these past few days, but not anymore. The fact is, I'm a fine chef, despite recent events. I've proven myself in the Hotel de Bois kitchen, so if anyone's qualified to work under Chef Escoffier, it's me. I think. I mean, I hope so.
Firma, have you even set foot in a kitchen since leaving Hotel de Bois?
I have not, but I'm fully rested now. I know I can handle it. I'll prove it. Let me whip something up for you right now. Huh? That's strange. Why are my hands shaking?
What do you call this, Firma?
I can't seem to grip my knife.
Again! Again! Hopeless. Get out of my kitchen yesterday.
Dad, what's wrong?
I don't understand. I was feeling so much better, and then Will I never be able to work in a kitchen again?
Dad, talk to me. What happened?
I think the real issue here is not physical exhaustion, but psychological trauma.
Monica, when did you get here?
Aku saja tidak sadar loh.
Probably because you were all concentrating so hard on your cooking. I didn't want to interrupt your flow. But anyway, Firma, I'm so sorry. If only I'd known how serious your situation was, I would have stood up for you sooner.
You have nothing to apologize for, Monica. During those long nights of redoing every order, you were the only person who looked out for me.
Oh, come on. All I did was make you some tea. I doubt it was much help. Savannah was so ruthless toward you. I probably should have brought you something stronger.
She sounds like the worst. Alright, another Savannah horror story. Let's hear it.
She's been getting harsher and harsher on us ever since she heard about Escoffier's new role in the Fleuve Cendre. Seems like no matter what we make, she'll find something wrong with it.
What is this? It looks like a dog's been at it. In the trash now!
Then she orders us to redo the dish again and again, but we never know what's going to make her happy.
Do it again, do it again, do it again!
Every time you remake it, you just get another earful from her.
Either straighten yourself out or get out of my kitchen!
So now, it seems like just picking up a kitchen utensil gives me flashbacks of her yelling at me.
Oh man, that must be awful.
The more I want to get it perfect, the more my hands shake, and the more scared I am of making another mistake.
How can you give up so easily, Firma? You weren't a quitter when you were working for me. And even under Savannah, you talk about working late into the night trying to perfect your dishes. That says to me that you still hadn't lost that determination to prove yourself. What changed?
I don't know what's come over me. When I think back, I just remember feeling like my heart and my hands were growing heavier and heavier as the shift went on. Each time I had to redo a dish, my heart sank a little further. Maybe Savannah was right. Maybe I am just hopeless at this.
Dad.
I see. Well, it sounds like there are some deep issues at work here. Ones that won't be resolved by merely seeking compensation. I will win this contest, and after that, I encourage you to approach Savannah and talk this out.
But what if you can't find another assistant in time? Clearly, I'm in no state to help out.
You think being one person short will ruin my chances? Let's not forget, I taught you and her everything you know. Even if I had to go it alone, I would present the perfect gâteau.
Oh, well, Paimon and Nadia will still keep practicing, just in case.
And so will I.
Yeah! And if worse comes to worse, we can always get the Spina di Rosula to put out an emergency call for chefs. There's gotta be someone out there, right?
Actually, I thought maybe I could help. That's sort of why I'm here.
What? Why didn't you say so?
I was going to, but then... well, this is the first chance I got.
You do this for us? Thank you so much, Monica.
Alright, fine by me. But aren't you still working for Savannah? Joining the other side seems like a guaranteed way to put your future employment in jeopardy.
I know, but it's alright. I've made up my mind. With the way things are, I can't keep working for Savannah much longer anyway. Unless I want to become the next Firma. I'm done with sucking it up. It's time to try and turn things around. If this cooking contest can get Savannah to see the error of her ways, then I'm sure she'll forgive me for this.
Semoga lega ya.
Wow! Hyman didn't think we'd be poaching from Savannah's staff to get our third person, but there you go! Anyway, Monica's a professional chef, so nothing could possibly go wrong now!
Great! Then it's settled. And to congratulate you all on making the team, I propose a Spina-sponsored meal to celebrate.
Spina-sponsored? Wait, you mean I'm cooking?
Well, I promised the traveler a feast in the Fleuve Cendre. And I know how much you've been looking forward to it.
Yeah! Feast, feast, feast!
Alright, if you insist, then prepare for some of the finest food of your lives. That's not a bad idea, actually. Wait, hold on. You need to finesse that further.
That was a dream come true! Hyman never knew Fontanian cuisine could be this good.
Why, Savannah? Why? Oh, nothing. I was just looking through the original Codex de Boer. I wanted to see if there was anything I'm missing. Something I hadn't noticed before. That might explain why Savannah's so desperate to get her hands on it. But I can't find anything. It's just some hastily scribbled recipes in between diary entries from Modeste's adventuring phase. And most of it's not even legible anymore. The copy I gave her not only has all the recipes in full, but even includes my own private tips and notes from years of experience. Surely that's infinitely more useful than this old thing. Yeah, maybe. Still, it's just hard for me to imagine if we were. At least I always thought we were. She was a little shy, but meticulous with everything and everyone she dealt with. She made a few mistakes here and there, but she was quick to correct them whenever they were pointed out. And she was always striving to improve as a chef. Those qualities are why I recommended her to replace me as head chef. I never imagined for 1 second that she'd cause Fiamma and the other staff so much grief. Well, I mean to an extent, of course. I pushed hard for her to get the role. And the idea that she turned out like this because of me is difficult to come to terms with. I wonder if this is how Modeste felt back when he was writing the Codex. Yes, with his good friend and co-founder of the Hotel de Boer, Savelli. The story goes that after Modeste unveiled his Gâteau de Boer and was hailed as a culinary genius, he was admired and adored by all. But his newfound fame slowly drove him and Savelli apart. Unlike Modeste, whose every new creation was an instant hit, Savelli seemed to face setbacks every turn. Doors that would swing wide open for Modeste would shut in Savelli's face. And with Modeste being whisked off to all manner of functions by his celebrity friends, he had less and less time to discuss the culinary arts with Savelli. People started gossiping about Savelli, and their relationship between the two gradually soured. Everything came to an abrupt end when Modeste, still in the prime of his life and still hailed as a genius, suddenly died from an acute illness. And that was it. They neither had a decisive split, nor got the chance to properly reconcile. Their story just came to an end. One rumor had it that Savelli actually killed Modeste out of jealousy, even as the latter was hoping to make amends. Unlikely. It's a popular theory, but there's no real basis for it. At least there are no records of Savelli ever being convicted of a crime. Still, beyond a point, there's no way of knowing what truly happened in the past. All we can do is try to make sure the present doesn't quite go as badly. And that's why I have to win this contest tomorrow. Then get the truth about everything that's been going on, even if it means cracking her open like a nut. Really? Well, I like the confidence. Don't let me down tomorrow then. You better bring your A game.
Did you hear the news? Escoffier's coming back for a cooking contest.
Ramsay.
Mesdames et messieurs, welcome one and all to the Hôtel de Bord and to this most exciting of cooking contests.
Savannah, I brought the original copy of the codex you asked for.
Monica? Huh.
In the interests of fairness, this contest will be conducted in a double-blind format. Once the dishes are complete, they will be sent to the back of the kitchen where they'll each receive a label. The labels will be placed out of sight underneath the plates, only to be revealed after the judges have sampled them and reached a final verdict. This is to ensure that no one will know which dish is made by which contestant.
As one of the judges, I promise to be fair and impartial.
When my meal got interrupted yesterday, I never thought this is how they'd make it up to me. Getting a seat on the judging panel is a pretty sweet deal.
Both contestants have taken their positions. Then, without further ado, let the Hôtel de Bord cooking contest commence!
Okay, what?
Monica, Traveler, it's go time. Let's do that.
Even the best chef in the world can't flavor their food without prepping the flavoring, right?
Alphonse?
Even the best chef in the world can't flavor their food without prepping the flavoring, right?
Looks like our two head
That should be enough flavoring. Now hurry up and balance the flavors.
Stay calm, Escoffier. There has to be a way to balance the flavors. Just think.
Ramsay.
What are you doing, Escoffier? Your team's waiting on you.
Come on, Escoffier! Come on, Traveler!
Alphonse! What are you playing at? That's not how I taught you to do it! Stop horsing around and do it again!
Yes, chef!
Oh, tension in the ranks on Team Savannah. Will this slow their progress?
Saya ini. Karena itu habis ketiga.
Escoffier is already on the final step of the...
I think this flavor profile is still a little bit off.
The balance of flavors is about right, but the quantity is too low.
Enough! Oh, useless! Both!
You can't match Escoffier's talent.
I present to you Gateau de Boer.
A burst of flavor!
I was just exercising caution. I had to make sure everything was perfect.
Time's up! Contestants, please take your dishes to the back.
That guy was right. You really can't tell whose is whose just by looking at them.
We both made the same dish after all. For all her flaws, Savannah's a talented chef who earned my recommendation for good reason. She wouldn't screw up something as elementary as the cake's appearance.
Whoa! This is really rather good.
Wonderfully soft and fluffy. Beautifully sweet. This is a masterclass in how to make Gateau de Boer.
I would give this one at least 9.9 out of 10! Only because there's something about the flavor of the base. It's just a little different from the recipe I'm used to.
Huh? Really? I couldn't tell.
Alright, on to Gateau number 2. I haven't had a single bite and already this aroma is a delight to the senses.
I have a feeling that this Gateau will be a Gateau for the ages.
How exciting! I'm gonna dig in. I think maybe someone got a little carried away when they were adding the sugar.
Not just the sugar, it's the flavors too. This is all over the place. Who made this?
It appears the decision is unanimous. This Gateau is far below the standard we would expect.
And Paimon thought this might actually be close. Turns out she can't bake to save her.
Something's not right here. Savannah may not be perfect, but no way is she this sloppy.
I can now declare that the creator of the first Gateau has won this cooking contest. Now, all that remains is to turn the plate over and reveal the chef's name underneath.
What? It's Savannah?
No! That's impossible!
Hey, Savannah! You cheated, didn't you? You cheater! What did you do? Oh, you swapped the plates, didn't you?
Well, someone's a sore loser. These cakes went from the oven to the judge's table without me ever laying a finger on them. And everyone here can attest to that. It was Vanejem's staff who labeled them in the kitchen. If you're looking to accuse someone, why don't you start with them? Isn't it more likely that Escoffier's lost her edge? Oh, or maybe her assistants let the team down.
You take that back!
Judges, we demand a rematch.
That's enough! What's done is done. As head chef, or rather as team lead, I take responsibility for the dish I served. Whatever went wrong and however it happened, I should have spotted it. Savannah, I didn't think you'd stoop this low just to beat me in a bake-off. What happened to your chef's pride?
I don't know what you're talking about.
If you want the Codex de Boer that much, you can have it.
Escoffier, no!
But you must promise me that you'll apologize to Firma and compensate him for everything you put him through.
It's a little late to be negotiating terms. The contest is over and I won. That means you owe me the Codex, and I owe you nothing.
Look, Savannah, you may have fooled everyone else, but can you really fool yourself? What I'm offering is to accept defeat without looking to expose what you've done. But only on the condition that you promise to stop putting so much pressure on your staff.
Fine. I'll treat this as your final handover of duties from one head chef to the next. So, will that be all, ex-head chef? Or is there any other unfinished business you'd like to leave in my hands?
I didn't mean that to be a scolding from your former boss. Just a word of advice from a fellow chef and a friend. But I don't know if you're even open to input from other people anymore.
I know what I'm doing. I don't need your advice.
All right, fine. I'm glad to hear it.
Escoffier!
The Codex de Boer! Finally. Now, at long last, I will succeed.
Escoffier? How could you let her get away with this?
Yeah! The Codex is a souvenir of your time here! Doesn't that mean anything to you?
It's alright. It was just a bake-off, not the end of the world. I'm already over it. Besides, it's not all bad. She agreed to compensate Firma. That's mission accomplished for the Spina. Honestly, if I'd have known that giving her the Codex would solve everything, I'd have just done that in the first place.
No. No! This doesn't make any sense!
Huh?
That's it? No secrets, no nothing? I don't believe it! This can't be happening.
Oh, Chef Savannah!
Savannah?
It's nothing life-threatening. Just a lot of pent-up stress and exhaustion.
Oh, I knew it.
Pent-up stress? Huh?
The truth is, however hard she might be on the rest of us, the person she puts the most pressure on is herself.
Yes, there are nights when she makes us redo things over and over into the wee hours. But for her, it's every night. She'll hide herself away in the kitchen, working on new techniques and recipes, and only realize how long she's been at it when we come to work the following morning.
But why? Why would she do that?
Our best guess is, she doesn't want to be seen as less of a chef than Escoffier.
And there it is.
Even so, that's no excuse for taking her anger out on the rest of you.
Yeah, and it's definitely no excuse for cheating in the cooking contest.
About that, we honestly have no idea how she did it. We were focused on our own work the whole time, like she asked.
Leone and Algalia were the ones I tasked with labeling the cakes. I've already spoken to them both. They're at a loss to explain it too.
Not to worry. Come on, join me downstairs. I'll interrogate the guilty Gateau myself.
Well, how is it? Have you figured out what it was?
Oh, this is aggravated assault on my palate. I'd rather eat wet cement than this.
Is it really that bad? I made sure to taste test it before it was served.
Oh, relax. This isn't your cake. Savannah never switched the plates. The offending flavors are coming from in between the icing and the cake base, which means someone tampered with it while it was being made. Or in other words, we have a traitor in our midst.
I'm sorry. I was forced into it. It was Chef Savannah. She said if I didn't cooperate, she would...
Calm down, Monica. I've already accepted defeat. And if I wanted retribution, I would have brought this up when the results were announced. Whatever's going on with you, just spill the beans. There's no need to hide it.
I was the one who caused the food safety incident that one time.
Food safety? Wait, you mean the Lumaline incident? So you procured the contaminated ingredients?
I think so. Savannah and I were on procurement that day. I didn't check everything as well as I should have, and so I let contaminated ingredients make it into the kitchen. But I swear I didn't do it on purpose. I had no idea there was an issue with them, and I didn't know it would end up with Escoffier going to jail. But the last thing I expected was for Savannah to use it as leverage to blackmail me with...
This is crazy! So Savannah pressured you into sabotaging Escoffier's cake by threatening to expose your secret if you didn't?
I know, it's terrible. I'm so sorry.
Well, how is it? Have you figured out what it was?
Oh, this is aggravated assault on my palate. I'd rather eat wet cement than this.
Is it really that bad? I made sure to taste test it before it was served.
Oh, relax. This isn't your cake. Savannah never switched the plates. The offending flavors are coming from in between the icing and the cake base, which means someone tampered with it while it was being made. Or in other words, we have a traitor in our midst.
I'm sorry. I was forced into it. It was Chef Savannah. She said if I didn't cooperate, she would...
Calm down, Monica. I've already accepted defeat. And if I wanted retribution, I would have brought this up when the results were announced. Whatever's going on with you, just spill the beans. There's no need to hide it.
I was the one who caused the food safety incident that one time.
Food safety? Wait, you mean the Lumalin incident? So you procured the contaminated ingredients?
I think so. Savannah and I were on procurement that day. I didn't check everything as well as I should have, and so I let contaminated ingredients make it into the kitchen. But I swear I didn't do it on purpose. I had no idea there was an issue with them, and I didn't know it would end up with Escoffier going to jail. But the last thing I expected was for Savannah to use it as leverage to blackmail me with...
This is crazy! So Savannah pressured you into sabotaging Escoffier's cake by threatening to expose your secret if you didn't?
I know, it's terrible. I'm so sorry. I was so scared. The thought of Chef Escoffier finding out that I put her in jail, it made me freeze up with fear. I thought Escoffier would hate my guts if she ever found out, and yet somehow that's ended up in me doing something even worse.
Seriously? All this fuss over a little slip-up?
Huh?
Firstly, it's not like I got a life sentence. I did my stint at the fortress, and now I'm out. And secondly, I had my own reasons for leaving the Hotel de Boer. This wasn't the only factor. So, you don't need to feel ashamed or frightened or anything like that. Any more than you need to add butter when you're pan-searing foie gras.
You mean... you forgive me?
Oh, well, I'm not saying you don't have to take responsibility for your mistakes. You should tell Vanagem to mark down your performance for the past few months. Then do some digging and find out exactly where those contaminated ingredients came from. Sure, you've made mistakes, but now's the time to fix them. Understood?
Understood.
Good. Now, back to Savannah. What about the original codex would compel her to resort to blackmail?
I have my suspicions. Not that I've got any proof to back them up, though.
Ugh. What happened to me?
I've overheard some customers murmuring about how the Hotel de Boer hasn't been the same since Escoffier left. They think our menu doesn't taste like it used to, especially our signature items.
Now that you mention it, I noticed it during the contest too. I couldn't put my finger on it, but the flavor seems subtly different from how it used to be. But the difference was so small, I'm sure no one would notice it besides our most loyal customers and true dessert connoisseurs.
Still, as head chef, it's easy to see why Savannah would get so hung up on it. So many times I've seen her make the cake base over and over again, late into the night, determined to match Escoffier's version. But something's always slightly off every time.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. Never really gave it much thought, though.
Thinking back on it now, it's clear that Savannah's been in a downward spiral ever since Escoffier left.
She wants to prove that she can fill Escoffier's shoes. That's gotta be the reason. But after countless setbacks, she's getting more and more unhinged. And at some point along the way, she switched from doubting herself to doubting Escoffier.
Doubting Escoffier? For what?
Yeah, it would explain why she was bent on getting the original at any cost. She must have thought Escoffier purposely omitted key details from her recipes when she copied them out. Also, she could retain her place as the #1 chef in Fontaine, the only one privy to all the secrets of the trade.
Oh, for goodness sake, what a stupid idea.
Of course. Then she finally got the codex, only to discover that the secret recipes she's been pining for don't exist at all. Seeing how utterly wrong she was must have been a real shock to the system. It probably brought up everything at once. It overwhelmed her, and she passed out.
There's still one thing that doesn't make sense, though. If Savannah had the real recipe all along, how come it tasted different? She might not be on the same level as Escoffier, but surely after like 50 attempts she'd get it right one of those times.
You'd think so, but geniuses like Escoffier are in a league of their own.
New head chef, you say? What's her name? I don't think I've heard of her before.
I wonder, can the Hotel de Boer keep its edge without Escoffier at the helm?
This tastes different from last time. Is it undercooked or something?
Take this. It's a copy of the Codex de Boer. From now on, you will be its keeper. Don't listen to the doubters. If I say you can do it, then you can do it. Even if you don't believe in yourself, at least believe in me. Hey, did you hear me? Once I'm gone, the restaurant is all yours.
All this time, I've been blaming other people, but maybe I'm the problem.
I sincerely apologize for putting everyone out. Savannah's awake now, but I don't think she's ready to speak to anyone yet. Let's give her the day to calm down. I'm sure you'll have the chance to talk everything out tomorrow.
In that case, I'll go and update for Ma and his family. I wonder what he'll make of all this.
So, we'll come back tomorrow then.
That was a long day. I think I've earned myself a sweet treat when I get back home.
Oh, nice! Macarons? Or are you gonna switch it up this time?
Traveler, how much do you know about the snow-winged goose?
Sedikit.
Every year they migrate long distances in search of a suitable home. There's always one goose at the front whose job is to lead the flock. Fontaine poets often use the image of that goose to explore the ideas about leadership and genius. They usually imagine someone who's a cut above the rest, a model of perfection. But what those poets don't know is that during a migration, the lead goose is always changing. Once the lead goose shows signs of fatigue, it retreats to the back of the flock and allows another goose to take its place. So the truth is that leadership, with all the responsibilities and pressures that come with it, it's something that everyone takes turns at. But we humans completely miss that fact when we project our own ideas about social hierarchies onto them. I guess what I'm saying is, I don't buy into this notion that there's some sort of gulf between normal and genius. Cooking is a science, not magic. Given the same ingredients, same recipe, and same environment, I see no reason why two different people shouldn't be able to create the exact same dish. Of course, some people have a more sensitive palate than others, and some people are just born bolder or more conscientious. But these are all variables that can be accounted for with time and practice. I'd have no reason to expect so much from others if I believed that perfection can only come from the hands of a genius. The only reason I hold people to high standards is because, well, I believe they're capable of greatness. Okay, I've made up my mind. I'm gonna get to the bottom of why Savannah failed. And come tomorrow, I'll give her the scolding of her life, pointing out all the mistakes she's made along the way. Then she'll finally see the error of her ways.
Ditembak sama bangunan, guys. Oke, masuk kita dulu.
Why are we here so early? Our meeting with Vanagem isn't for a
Check
while.
on this Escoffier.
Check on her? Why? What happened? Oh no. Escoffier, are you alright?
I'm fine. Just need to get some more coffee in me. Huh? What happened to my coffee? Did I really drink it all? Alright. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Well, there's cooking facilities here. Or we could just grab a cup of coffee from Cafe Lutece, but either way, hurry!
Coffee. Need coffee.
What can I get for you? Sure thing. We're here to go. Huh? Oh, I see. First cup of the season. Yeah, I get it. Young people these days do love their little surprises.
Coffee. I feel much better now. Thank you so much, Traveler and Paimon.
Glad to hear it. But make sure to catch up on your sleep when you get the chance.
I think I figured out where the problem lies. Honestly, it's ridiculous. I don't know whether to laugh or cry.
Wait, what investigation? What are you guys talking about?
I'll save it for when everyone else gets here. It's so stupidly small. I can't believe it's caused so much drama. Yes, except my failures were stepping stones to success.
Escoffier, have you seen Savannah?
Huh? No, not since yesterday. Why? What's wrong?
After seeing her home yesterday, we were all a little concerned about how she was doing. So, I dropped by her place early this morning to check on her. Only to find an empty house with the doors wide open. I left Alphonse and the others to keep watch at her home, while I checked the Hotel de Bord. I'm worried something bad might have happened. If she's not here, then where could she be?
Boss, Escoffier, bad news.
Alphonse? You're supposed to be keeping watch at Savannah's house.
We were, but then, just after you left, we found this stuff in her house.
Oh, looks like a map with a bunch of random places circled. What does it mean?
Wait a second. This feels familiar. I'm sure these places are all connected somehow. Of course, from the Codex. They're all places that Modeste explored on his adventures.
What did I say?
Yeah, but I don't understand. The adventure logs in the Codex are too fragmented to be of any use. How come this map shows all the missing details?
The Codex de Bord? Then, this place marked in red out at sea. Could that be the fabled birthplace of Gateau de Bord?
Seriously? So now she set her sights on finding the original recipe and beating Escoffier that way? Geez, Savannah. Anything to overcome a Gateau plateau, huh?
Oh, idiot! Does she have a death wish? Those ruins are thousands of years old.
Hold on, there's more. Besides the map, we also found these letters.
It was you. You let the Lumaline through, didn't you? It sounds like a threat letter. Does this mean that Savannah was responsible for the safety incident? And not Monica after all?
Retrieve the Codex by any means necessary. So the cooking contest and the cheating. Someone else was behind her pulling the strings?
She's keeping the true recipe to herself.
Ugh, this is all such a mess. Paimon needs a second to process this. First, we thought that Savannah forced Monica to cheat in the cooking contest. But now, it turns out that someone else forced Savannah to force...
Ini atau justru mana sebaliknya.
You're finally here. Of course. I should have put 2 and 2 together as soon as I read your threat letter. The food safety incident, the demand for a cooking contest, the instruction to blackmail Monica, even the suggestion that Escoffier was keeping secrets from me. It was all part of your grand plan, wasn't it, Monica?
We should be getting close to the spot marked on the map.
Of all the stupid things she's done, this really takes the cake. The moment we find her, I'm gonna curse the living daylights out of her. Chivalry will never die.
Whoa, this place looks like an underwater restaurant, doesn't it? Suddenly the idea of an adventure chef finding secret ingredients makes a whole lot more sense.
I think Modest's codex mentioned this place. A public bath from the time of Remoria. So yeah, definitely the kind of place that would have served food and drinks.
Huh? Some blubber beasts have come to join the party? How did they get here? Aw, they ran off!
That could be easier said than done. Something's blocking the entrance.
Well, did Modeste mention it in his adventure logs by any chance? They must have gotten through somehow.
Good point. Yes, that's right. It's coming back to me now.
We prepared a banquet for our shy little guests, and as the food flowed away on the current, they broke into a joyous chorus, and the path opened to us.
We have to feed the blubber beasts? With what? There's nothing here besides rocks, romaritime flowers, and lumitoile. See, this is why you should always bring snacks. You never know when you're gonna need them. Now we have to head all the way back to shore and grab some.
There is no time for that. Romaritime flowers and lumitoile will have to do. They may not look appetizing to us, but who knows? They could be blubber beast delicacies.
Wait, we're seriously gonna try this?
A dash of frosting!
Blubber beasts or not, are we sure this stuff is edible?
Trust me, they'll love it.
Oh, good question. If we try to put them in the pool, we'll probably just scare them off again, and who knows how long they'll be gone.
Yes, we can't afford to wait for them to double back. Oh, what was it that Modeste said again? Something about the food flowing away on the current.
Hey, be careful! Scare them off too much and they might not come back again. Wow, it's really singing! It must taste better than Paimon thought!
The track's turned back again. Oh, so annoying.
Ini seharusnyaนะครับjadi ini esok wait ini the first one used in the video this one wait this one
Hey, it's
ini the first
open.
one says si Peter and Franzo using the video.
Hey, give me your water. Here. I said your water, the one you just drank out of? Sure. All those years slaving away under Escoffier, and then you. Today, it's finally paying off. Not only have I found the ruin that Savelli kept hidden, but I also get to boss you around like my little lapdog. Hey, go scout ahead for me. If we need to do any more blast tunneling, I want to know where to lay the explosives. Did you not hear me? Get going. Why don't you do it yourself? Oh, when did you learn to fight back? You're always so compliant when I give you instructions by letter.
That's because you threatened to expose me for the Lumiline incident. I swear, if I'd known what you were planning, I'd never have...
Ha! Don't be so self-righteous.
Admit it, you've always been jealous of Escoffier. That's why you lapped up everything I told you. You were terrified of her finding out about your part in the Lumiline incident, and you resented the way her reputation hung over you. So you jumped at the chance to convince yourself that she was the villain, that she deliberately hid her secret recipes from you just to hold you back. It was the only excuse you needed to justify getting back at her. First, idolization, then jealousy, suspicion, and self-deception. That's what this comes down to. It was the same story with Savelli and my ancestor. He offered Modeste his friendship, only to murder him out of vanity.
Say. Makasana sa pagkungkong.
Hey, give me your water.
Here.
I said your water, the one you just drank out of?
Sure.
All those years slaving away under Escoffier, and then you. Today, it's finally paying off. Not only have I found the ruin that Savelli kept hidden, but I also get to boss you around like my little lapdog. Hey, go scout ahead for me. If we need to do any more blast tunneling, I want to know where to lay the explosives. Did you not hear me? Get going.
Why don't you do it yourself?
Oh, when did you learn to fight back? You're always so compliant when I give you instructions by letter.
That's because you threatened to expose me for the Lumiline incident. I swear, if I'd known what you were planning, I'd never have...
Don't be so self-righteous. Admit it, you've always been jealous of Escoffier. That's why you lapped up everything I told you. You were terrified of her finding out about your part in the Lumiline incident, and you resented the way her reputation hung over you. So you jumped at the chance to convince yourself that she was the villain, that she deliberately hid her secret recipes from you just to hold you back. It was the only excuse you needed to justify getting back at her. First, idolization, then jealousy, suspicion, and self-deception. That's what this comes down to. It was the same story with Savelli and my ancestor. He offered Modeste his friendship, only to murder him out of vanity. He promised to explore the world with him, only to later destroy all records of their adventures. It's a miracle I even found this place. You have no idea the countless hours I spent piecing it all together. So you see, you're no better than Savelli. If you can't beat him, betray him, right?
I am no Savelli, nor will I ever be.
Oh, put a lid on it. You really think you can absolve yourself of your vindictive and jealous behavior now? Just because you finally realize that Escoffier never kept any secrets from you? You didn't show any remorse when she left, or in the cooking contest. Why start now? You have no right to redemption.
You're right. I don't deserve her forgiveness. But I am done being bullied into submission by you!
Ooh, feisty. But you should watch your tone. Talking to me like that could get you in big trouble.
I somehow doubt that. Since I poisoned both our water bottles.
What?
Ever since I learned the truth, I've been biding my time, waiting for this moment. You've played me like a fiddle for so long, and now this is payback!
But you drank it too!
It's what we both deserve. This is the price we must pay for betraying Escoffier. You'll die here with me, Monica!
You.
What's so funny?
Oh, you're too much. I thought I'd play along for a bit just to amuse myself. You gave a very rousing performance. I saw your dumb plan a mile off. There's no poison in these bottles, just clean, fresh water. No. Revenge is a dish best served cold, you know. Did you really think your half-baked plot would fool me? You're a lousy chef, and you make a lousy villain too. A complete waste of space. No wonder you never amounted to anything. Everything I ever did was a failure. And now, I failed again for the last time. Hey, why don't you try your hand at being a comedian in your next life? You got a good laugh out of me. But now the show's over. You should have just done like I asked, Savannah. All I wanted you to do was scout the ruins for me. But you had your chance, and now it's time to say goodbye.
Stop right there!
Let her go, Monica! We've got you surrounded!
Escoffier? Ugh, looks like I'll have to keep you around for a little longer. You can't! Stay back if you want her alive! Escoffier and the Traveler. I can't take you both on in combat, but if you so much as flinch, I can end Savannah's life in a heartbeat.
Monica, what are you hoping to achieve by this? You're about to commit murder, and for what? A recipe?
A recipe? You chefs are all blinded by your myopic focus on kitchen affairs. Well, some of us actually have bigger fish to fry. Modeste had a secret. The truth behind his so-called genius, the je ne sais quoi factor in his Gâteau de Bourg, and it's right here in these ruins.
Are you serious? You're here because of a Gâteau de Bourg obsession? You've gone completely mad!
I couldn't care less about the cake itself. No, the real treasure is the secret ingredient that Modeste sourced from these ruins. He and Savelli were fools. A priceless treasure of Remoria in the palms of their hands, and they thought, ooh, this would go great in our cake mix. We're talking about a powerful stimulant that also sharpens the senses. That's no cooking ingredient. It's a groundbreaking drug. That's right, I've done my research. It was a drug that Remoria developed for their war machine. I could make a killing by selling it to the treasure hoarders or the Fatui.
Will you listen to yourself? You're completely delusional.
My eyes are wide open. Just wait till I get my hands on this treasure. You'll see what a fool you've been.
Wait, what's that sound?
Just when I thought she couldn't get any crazier. She's lucky the whole place didn't collapse.
Uh-oh! Savannah's gone too!
Monica must have taken her. Oh, what a coward. She's only taken her hostage because she knows that she's no match for you.
That's true. Even if she finds the treasure, she'll need Savannah alive if she wants to get out of here in one piece.
Oh, well, our path's been blocked, so let's look for another route. The water looks pretty deep here. Maybe it leads somewhere. probably awakened by the explosion just now. Alright, Knife Skills 101. Time for some rough chopping.
The wind knows me.
Rain outlines your fate.
An inspired melange.
Into the wind.
Snowflake. A dash of frosting. The pinnacle of excellence. Another door? Guess we need to prepare another feast for our guests.
Pone. Pelapon.
Cha! Ha! Ya! Cha! Ya! Cha! Ha! Cha! Ra! Ha! Ka! Cha! Za! Cha! Ha! Cha! Ha! Za! Ra! Ya! Cha! Ha! Ka! Ya! Ya! Ha! Ra! Cha! Ya! Cha! Ya! Ya! Cha! A little amuse-bouche! Ya! Ra! Cha! Ya! It seems to really like the texture of Rome maritime flowers. Up to the freezer! problem. Yeah.
Let me weave you a berth.
As one with wind and cloud. I'll uproot you.
Bon appetit. A dash of frosting.
Rain outlines your fate.
I never knew you could process Lumitol like that. Alright, I've got to jot this down.
Okay.
Limitols and maritime flowers. This could open the door to a whole new world.
Yep, that's literally the plan. Wait, hold on. Which door are you talking about?
That's strange. These don't look Romorian to me. More like last century Fontaine.
Adventurers from last century Fontaine, huh? Oh, Modeste and Savelli, do you think they camped here?
By the looks of it, this was a one-person camp. They adventured together, but maybe one of them came back alone at a later date. You really think so?
Trust our adventurer's instincts. We're pros at this stuff. Okay, well, the Traveler has more adventuring experience overall, but Paimon's definitely a pro rummager from all those treasure chests. Darn it! Paimon was just about to show off her rummaging skills!
Huh, no kidding. Are all adventurers so obsessed with journaling? I mean, I guess I take a lot of notes when I'm cooking as well, but I thought that was just me.
Anyway, let's find out who was here.
It's been years since I've last visited these ruins. It's exactly the way I remember it. This place probably hasn't changed in millennia. Sadly, up above, on dry land, everything is changed. The treasure of Remoria. That's what we used to call it. Modeste was right about its potential. It turned Gateau de Boer into a national sensation. Our limited stock of the substance meant that the Gateau could only be produced on a small scale. But this only drove up the popularity all the more. Modeste was right about that too. He predicted all of it. He was praised as a genius, while I, as the one person who'd ever disagreed with him, was labeled a talentless fool. Modeste tried his best to console me, but I knew better than anyone just how great the gulf was between us. Our conversations grew scarce, and we saw less and less of each other. I didn't fight it. He had new friends and a career of his own. Why invite further disdain by inserting myself where I did not belong? I told myself that maybe one day, when I finally created a masterpiece of my own, I'd be able to face him without shame. Or maybe one day, when I've put these feelings of self-loathing behind me, I'd be able to ask him with a smile on my face, how about we go on one more adventure, for old time's sake? Unfortunately, that day will never come.
So it was Savelli. From the sounds of it, he came back after Modeste had already died.
I always thought it was just a legend. But if it's true, then this must be the place where they found their secret ingredient, the birthplace of Gateau de Boer.
In that case, what does that say about the death of Modeste? If it's all true, maybe Savelli really did have something to do with it.
The taste of Gâteau de Bourg has changed. Modeste was convinced of this, even though everyone swore they couldn't tell. Being the perfectionist that he was, he refused to accept even the slightest flaw in his work. He stopped all sales of the product, locked himself away in the kitchen, and worked day and night, vowing to find out where he had gone wrong. But as he baked and taste tested over and over again, he found he only strayed further and further from the original taste. It was only when he was sipping on coffee one day and realized he could not taste the bitterness that the truth finally dawned on him. What had changed was not the gâteau, but his sense of taste. The treasure of Remoria stimulates the senses, taste included, and invigorates the spirit. In the short term, it offers people the ultimate gourmet experience, but in the long term, it dulls their senses entirely. In hindsight, it made perfect sense. After all, why would a culture that sought liberation from the constraints of their bodies care for the loss of their senses? But we realized it too late. We were just too late. Over the course of his many culinary experiments, Modeste exhausted the remaining supply of the treasure of Remoria. He consumed it all himself. The finest culinary talent of his generation now faced a future in which he would never be able to taste anything ever again. Finally, in despair, he took his own life. And because we had become estranged, I could not be there to stop him, to offer some words of comfort, or even to say goodbye. Yet despite everything, he sent me his final letter.
The treasure of Remoria? Guess Monica was really onto something. It really was a kind of drug.
So, Modeste chose to end his own life. Then, why all the rumors that Savelli murdered him? Also, neither the Codex nor any other contemporary records make any mention of the treasure of Remoria. It's almost as if someone deliberately erased it from history.
Modeste told me everything in his final letter. His was a tale of how even a genius could fail, and how much more devastating it is when it happens. Did he hope I would gain some personal catharsis from knowing the truth? Or maybe he wished for me to warn the public about the dangers of Gâteau de Bourg, proving that I had been right all along. But if the public ever learned how Modeste's greatest triumph became his undoing, his fall from grace would be swift and merciless. 1 minute a genius, the next a joke. It would surely spell the end for his restaurant too. What would be his legacy then? How would future generations view everything we built together? I fear the scorn I have faced these last years would pale in comparison to the scorn shown to him by the history books. I cannot let that come to pass. I will do what I must to protect his name. It will mean tampering with his notes to remove the damning details, leaving mere fragments of our story behind. It may lead his family to suspect me of having a hand in his demise. But if that's the price of destroying all evidence of my crimes, then so be it. I would rather the world believe a tale of genius and jealousy than see his reputation in tatters. The final loose end is the evidence here, at the bottom of the sea.
Huh? What's wrong? Didn't we say Savannah should be safe for now?
So we thought, but if Monica finds out what happened to the treasure, there's no telling what she might do.
Hentikan Monica.
The treasure of Remoria. I have found you at last.
Savelli, you tried your best to bury the truth, but you underestimated the children of Modeste. Some fragments of his diary escaped your clutches, and we have held on to them for generations. But I have to thank you too, Savannah. Without your help retrieving the codex, and with it the last piece of the puzzle, I may never have found this place. But now, finally, the secret to Remoria's military might is within my grasp. The treasure of Remoria is mine! Oh. It's empty. It's empty?
Monica? Oh, we were seconds too late.
Escoffier? What's the deal with that jar?
Savelli's final act! He wanted to conceal the secret of the treasure forevermore and make sure it would never harm anyone again. So he came here after his friend's death and destroyed every last shred that remained.
This can't be happening! All the years I spent piecing together the truth, all my painstaking planning, all that for an empty jar?
Monica, don't do anything stupid. This ruin is more dangerous than you realize.
Oh, shut your pie hole!
Praise be to Lord Remus. You barbarian shall be slain.
Monica mati.
She's a nutcase! A liability to herself and everyone else! Well, now it's up to us to clean up the mess she's made. Take these golems out!
Witness the power.
A little amuse-bouche!
One with nature. Fallen leaves, adorn my night. Into the wind.
A burst of flavor!
Why is this place still shaking? Either way, it's all her fault. Enough chit-chat. Let's get out of here, Traveler Escoffier, come on!
Okay, I'm coming.
Oh, no you don't. If I can't get what I want, neither will any of you. I've got nothing to show for my life's work so far. But if I can take another so-called genius down with me in my final moment, then it was all worth it.
You're a psycho!
Savannah? When did you wake up? I may be a lousy chef, but it looks like I'm not a complete waste of space.
Traveler? Okay, let's go!
Oke, Genshin.
Escoffier! Savannah!
Traveler! And Paimon!
Venejem, what are you all doing here?
What did you expect us to do? Stay at the restaurant and sit on our merry derrieres? While a traveler and Escoffier were out here risking their lives?
We had to do something, even though that something ended up being, well, waiting for you here instead.
I don't deserve any of you. And I certainly don't deserve to be your head chef. It was my fault Escoffier had to leave. Then I couldn't live up to her standards. I acted like a tyrant in the kitchen. And now I almost got myself killed. Come back, Escoffier. Come and be our head chef again. I'll never be able to replace you.
Okay, so everything I said to you the day I left, it just went in one ear and out the other?
Huh? Sorry, I was kinda in my own head at the time. All I could think about was the Lumiline situation. What was it you said again?
Forget it. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I didn't leave this job because of you. And you're not nearly as awful a chef as you think. If you were that bad, why would all your staff show up here for you?
Escoffier's right. Sure, you nitpick our work and get us to do things over a lot. But when it comes down to it, you're the one who's always doing whatever it takes to make sure the customers get served on time, every time.
Things were pretty rough after Escoffier left, and Savannah's the only reason we've been able to make it through.
Our customers know that Escoffier doesn't work for us anymore. But the fact is, they keep coming back. If that's not an endorsement of your work, I don't know what is. At the end of the day, we're all human, and we all make mistakes. All we can do is recognize where we get it wrong and do our best to improve. That's all that's humanly possible.
No. I get what you're saying, but what I did to Fermat and to Escoffier, it's unforgivable.
Well, about that, there's someone else here to see you, Chef.
It's been a while, Chef Savannah.
Fermat? I'm so sorry. I put far too much pressure on you. And the way I stubbornly refused to go and see you after you fell ill. There's no excuse. But I'm too late, aren't I? The damage is done. I heard that you can't even hold a kitchen knife anymore.
Actually, I think I'm going to be just fine.
Huh?
We thought Firmin's problem was purely psychological in nature. But after the threat letter came to light, it got Firmin thinking. And then he remembered the tea that Monica used to give him every night. And as it turns out, she was lacing it with Lumiline the whole time.
No way! Doesn't that cause nerve damage?
It can. High doses pose a risk of serious nervous and sensory complications. But if you calculate the dosage carefully, you can control the extent of its effects. A small dose might simply make a person more emotional, whether that means more fragile or more hot-tempered.
No wonder it seemed like you lost your edge.
I asked my friends at the Fontaine Research Institute about it. They said that with the low dose I was taking, the risks are pretty small. They also fixed me up with some meds and said I should recover in no time. Well, that's what happens when you give someone a little bit of hope to cling on to.
There's more. We believe that Firmin was likely not Monica's only victim.
You mean she poisoned me too?
Oh, so that's why Savannah's been so irritable this whole time!
Let's not be too quick to blame everything on the Lumiline. That stuff can only amplify what's already there. So tasty food will seem like the most delicious thing in the world, while food you don't particularly care for will become utterly revolting. So you better make sure you reflect on your behavior and apologize to every single person you've wronged.
I will. I'm sorry. There's still one question that's really bugging me. Why is it that no matter what I do, my Gâteau de Bourg never tastes the same as yours? Is it just... I mean, is it because you're a genius and I'm not?
It's because the heating element in your oven is broken, you silly goose.
What?
Cuma itu?
I felt like something was off during the cooking contest. Once I got around to checking all the equipment, I noticed it right away. There was a half-degree discrepancy between the temperature setting and the actual temperature. All the ovens in the whole kitchen had the same problem, which confused me at the time, but by this point, it's pretty obvious that Monica must have tampered with them. I would have figured it out the day of the bake-off, since the issue affected both our teams. But of course, Monica sabotaged mine so that could never happen.
No. I spent so long trying to find out where I was going wrong, and then you pinpoint the problem in just one night? It all comes back to one simple, undeniable truth. You're a genius, and I'm just plain old Savannah.
Oh, cut it out! Stop the woe is me act for a second and just think. I came up with this recipe. You don't think that might have something to do with it? Do you know how long I spent perfecting my Gâteau de Bourg? 3 years! 3 whole years! I know this dish inside out, back to front and upside down. And you've been head chef now for what, 6 months? If that? A couple hundred failed attempts, and you're gonna throw in the kitchen towel and declare you'll never be successful because you're not a genius. You clearly have no idea how many kitchen failures I've had under my belt, or just how long it took me to finally get my recipe to a level I was satisfied with. Genius or not, everyone makes mistakes. Modeste did, Savelli did, everyone does. You're only a lousy chef if you don't face up to your mistakes, learn from them, and then keep chipping away until you crack the problem once and for all. Surely you haven't forgotten all that. You were no lousy chef back when I handed you the reins.
I haven't forgotten. And I'll make sure I never do.
That's our head chef.
Haha! Sounds like we won't need another changing of the guard in the Hôtel de Bord kitchen anytime soon. Huzzah!
Aw, what a perfect ending to a crazy journey. Look how happy everyone is.
So you got your mojo back now?
Yeah. Thanks to you, Escoffier. In fact, no. Thanks to all of you.
Aw, friends again. So nice to see them finally settle their beef.
Biar Subaki dibencong.
Good. So now that's out of the way. It's time for payback. You cheated in our last bake-off, and I demand a rematch right now.
But that was mostly Monica's fault, wasn't it?
Right, and also, does it have to be right now? Savannah's only just got her mojo back, and you barely escaped from a death trap.
No excuses. This is a cooking contest between 2 top chefs, and nothing will stand in its way. So grab your spatula and get ready, because this rematch is happening today, right now, this instant.
Hey, so, this whole time you were salty about losing?
The second cooking contest commences now!
This time, no more games, and no holding back!
I feel like I don't have the right to be here.
Hey, what are you so afraid of? You can't unbake it now. And if you don't serve it, then good or bad, you'll never find out how to improve. If you're too scared to fail, you'll never know what real success tastes like.
So?
Embrace your failure. Taste it. Digest it. That's the way to success.
I don't know. Sounds like it's easier said than done.
I'll do it.
The results are in! A landslide victory for Escoffier!
Quite rightly, too. Piece of cake.
Isabel, the counterpoint. Okay. Decide.
Oh yeah, look at that! Savannah!
Now, where were we? Yes. Do you have any more questions for me after everything that's happened? I thought Navia would have filled you in. And actually, I said all this to Savannah before I left. Although, as we saw, I don't think any of it sank in. I had 2 reasons for leaving. One was the food safety incident, of course, but the other was that the Hotel de Boer had reached a point where it didn't need me anymore. So I decided to step down and look for new opportunities to improve myself.
Improve how?
Well, a while back, I got to know a fellow chef from Niue, and in her, I saw so many new possibilities. She has that same adventurous spirit that Modeste and Sibeli had in their youth. Slime mucus, lizard tails. With her, nothing's off the table. There's a whole world of new flavors out there waiting to be explored, hiding away in ingredients we overlook. Case in point, remember those Romaritime flowers down in the ruins? I used them in the cooking contest just now. Did you taste the difference?
What? I didn't notice at all.
Half of the art of cooking is dissecting the recipes of previous chefs and figuring out the exact constellation of elements that gave their work its signature taste. And the other half, it lies in freeing yourself from the confines of the kitchen. You've got to go out and explore the endless possibilities out there.
Uh-oh. Paimon's suddenly not sure she wants to try your cooking anymore.
Don't worry, it's not going to be a free-for-all like in Modeste's time. Before I put anything into my food, I'll obviously do my research. Make sure it doesn't contain any harmful substances. In the meantime, take this. It's a recipe for Petit Gâteau de Boer revised version. I tweaked it to suit your needs as busy adventurers. Hope you enjoy, and remember, feedback is always welcome.
All right! So, do you ever see yourself returning to Hotel de Boer?
Oh, of course. I've already promised Vanish M that I'll come back every once in a while to make sure the quality of the food remains at an acceptable level.
Semoga beruntung Safana.
You know, Paimon's still a little disappointed that we never got to see the treasure of Remoria. Surely Monica wouldn't have gotten drawn in so deeply if it wasn't for all the mystery surrounding the original Gâteau de Boer. She practically dedicated her life to finding the lost pieces of Modeste's diary. Then went to all that trouble to infiltrate the Hotel de Boer. And in the end, it was all for nothing.
Since you mentioned the treasure, between Modeste's writings and what we saw in those ruins, I think I may have figured out the truth. The so-called Treasure of Remoria was most likely a substance that the Remorians extracted from Lumitwals, better known to us as Lumiline.
Huh? So then, why all the hype back in the early days of Gateau de Boer?
Don't forget, it was a very different era. We could barely even refine sugar back then, so desserts were very much in their infancy. In a world of bland food, it's no wonder that the first thing to really excite people's taste buds took the world by storm. And as for the Lumiline, it may well have been somewhat valuable in ancient times, but these days, it's just another drug from the Fontaine Research Institute. Even if Savelli hadn't destroyed it all, I doubt it would be worth that much these days.
So after all that, there was nothing in those ruins but worthless junk. Feels strange to say it, but Paimon almost feels sorry for Monica. She sacrificed it all only to get nothing in return.
Dia kena bantunya sendiri.
Hey! Huh? Navia? You just got back from that underwater ruin, right? Well, check it out. They ran a special issue. Did you see anything like this down there? Freshly unearthed from the ruins of Remoria. A magnificent jar thought to be over 1,000 years old. Experts say it has immense artistic and historical value. It could be worth an absolute fortune.
Wait, isn't that the jar they used to hold the treasure?
If only it was still in one piece. Some butterfingers must have dropped it or something. It's such a shame.
Selesai. Apa sih bang? Ada apa bang Kinik?
Ad Ast. Thank you for
Bang Kinik ini mampir. Assalamualaikum juga.
Hey, there's a newsstand over there. Wanna grab a copy of the Steambird? We know our Fontanian friends love a little drama. There's no way they've let their readers down. Isn't that Charlotte? And standing next to her, surely that can't be Kanich?
How about lost treasure resurfaces at last. Behold the beauty of the Remurian teacup.
Tunggu dulu sampai end stem ini.
Pretty shocking. But it still feels like it's missing something. Got it. Udex gravely wounded in shocking stabbing. Set to miss cross-border smuggling trial.
Huh? hear that right? Nivelet was stabbed and gravely wounded? No, surely that can't be right. Can it?
Soalnya sepertinya aku kenal suara itu. Suara Diamond.
Hey there, you two. Fancy running into you here.
Ada yang nangkap ya.
Yeah, that, and also a less than pleasant shock. What the heck was all that about a story of meat restaurant and the eunuchs getting stabbed? Please say you were being serious. Trading tabloid headlines?
Yeah. Charlotte and I were having a little contest to see who could find the most ridiculous fake news stories. Either I got lucky, or I have a knack for honing in on the most outrageous material. If I had to quantify it, I'd say about 1% of what they write is the truth.
Huh? Him? Lenient? Oh, you gotta be kidding! Ah!
Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to give credit to these so-called news stories for occasionally including a grain of truth. All I'm saying is, even the wildest leaps of the human imagination are always rooted in reality.
You mean all those fake headlines you
Soalnya
mentioned
ini
actually do
PS5
have
mahal. Okay.
Sure they do. For instance, there was in fact a smuggling trial recently. Considering the amount of speculation surrounding the smuggled goods, it's no wonder there are rumors about restaurants serving saurian meat or teacups being unearthed from ancient ruins. But in reality, the goods in question were simply a few ancient relics dug up from ruins in that land. Rest assured, no saurians were harmed in the process.
Oh, okay! Paimon was so busy freaking out about those headlines that she totally forgot to ask why you're here in Fontaine, Kinich.
It was a pretty open and shut case, and my testimony in court was clear enough. But I'm guessing, Mademoiselle Charlotte, that you're less interested in the case than you are in trying to uncover some details about Natlan. I appreciate your kind invitation, but like I said, storytelling isn't really my forte.
Kinich the speechless! Kinich the tongue-tied! Huh?
If you're dead set on doing an interview, why not talk to the Traveler instead?
Dah. Udah belum insting. Sampai jumpa semuanya. Sampai mana lagi?
Charlotte never stops, does she? Anyway, I just have to ask. That owl thing that popped out before, or was it a howl? It kind of looked like a howl, but at the same time.
Oh, that thing. Yeah, that was a howl.
Huh? What's up with him?
Could be.
Not a climate?
Too bad he can't come out. There's nothing. Apparently, it's forbidden.
Paimon's been down there.
Not gonna lie, I was considering that. But that said, anyway, this morning I saw a notice. I was planning to stay here and do some exploring. It'll be a good if you're free. Why don't you come along? I know where it is.
Udah. End studio, bye.